This is where our untapped willpower is. Stored willpower, that lack of drive or that thing that's holding you back from pursuing your dream or knowing with clarity where that desire is coming from, stems from the calves and then trickles down to the feet with those neglected desires. That inability to take action for what it is that we truly desire. Welcome to the Monday Movement series. This week we're going to be jumping straight into a kneeling position. Now, as you can see, I'm already in the assumed position, but I just want to talk you through a few more alternative options because we did the deep squat last week, which there are alternative options to that. But when it comes to a kneeling squat, there is a lot of load on the ankles, feet, and knees especially. So if you are restricted in any of these joints I just talked about, ankles, knees, even lower back, can be affected in this position after a while. We want to be using a bolster. Now I'm going to show you on the side so it's at an appropriate angle, but if we are kneeling, we want to assume on top of the bolster or a yoga block or even a pillow, just a standard bed pillow, between our legs, and we're going to be sitting on it. This helps bolster up the knees so we're not as bent through the knees. You can use many bolsters, and of course the more pillows and bolsters or yoga blocks that you add, the higher up you're going to be in your kneeling position, the less pressure on your knees and ankles and feet, as well as less pressure through the hips and lower back as well. Just kind of takes out that strain if you don't have that range. But now that we have gone through that, we're going to assume our kneeling position. And just really take your time to play around with where your body wants to be, where your feet want to be positioned, how your knees feel in that bent position, whether you do want to add a bolster or 2 or 3 or a yoga block or 2 or 3, because we're going to be here for a little while we start to query into these areas, into this kneeling position. So just taking your time, taking a few breaths to drop into the space. Find your comfortable position, fiddle around. And once you've found a comfortable position, we're going to start to inquire with where we want our hand placement. And so we can have our hands, for example, at the front of our knees, face up, palms face up, or palms face down. We can have them closer to our body or on our womb. And just relaxing the shoulders down and back, relaxing the arms down. Play around with the hand placement and just start to question, does my body feel open to receiving with the palms up, or do I feel like introspecting and going inwards a little with the palms face down? Or perhaps I want to nurture myself by having my hands on my womb or my reproductive space if I'm a male. Maybe I'm craving more of that nurturing inward energy. And once you've found your hand placements, begin to inquire what sensations are coming up, either through the hands, through the knees, through the ankles or the feet, just noticing the area that's coming up for you the most right now. So you might want to close down the eyes, start to tune into the body. Notice the most loud sensation, whether it be a thought, a feeling, a bodily sensation, perhaps a really subtle warmth, more of an energetic vibe. Just noticing what's coming up. Here in this position, we are putting a lot of strain, as I mentioned, on the knees, the ankles, the feet. And these areas are where we store frustration, grudges, particularly the knees. It's where we store neglected desires at the feet, that lack of clarity and direction is in our feet and our ankles. And then in our calves, perhaps we're noticing tension in our calves or our lower legs. This is where our untapped willpower is. Stored willpower, that lack of drive or that thing that's holding you back from pursuing your dream or knowing with clarity where that desire is coming from, stems from the calves and then trickles down to the feet with those neglected desires. That inability to take action for what it is that we truly desire. And then coming back to the knees, that's where stored frustration comes in. So these are all the psychosomatics of the knees, ankles, and feet. And we might start to notice, just as we're tuning in, little bits and patterns coming up around those areas. Kind of when it comes to family grudges in the knees, whether it be on the father line, the mother line, the father side or the mother side. Things that we feel are holding us back from our deepest desires. And it's not with the purpose of blaming people or really holding onto that grudge, but just noticing if we have a grudge, and why. Starting to question, why do we have that grudge? Why are we allowing that to hold us back? Only we're putting that on us. Only we're noticing that and buying into it. But the beauty of a somatic practice is once we become aware of it, we can overcome it ourselves. It's not up to someone else to fix our internal world. We fix our internal world. All these things that are coming up right now are information from your body, from your unconsciousness, communicating with you to your conscious mind, to your logical mind, for us to decipher, figure out, to get to know ourselves on a deeper level. And so just being here in this kneeling position for one more moment, 3 more breaths, asking the body if it has anything further to communicate with us. And then from there, as always, I like to close down with a thank you to the body. Thank you for everything you've communicated to me. Thank you for everything you've brought to light from the darkness of the unconsciousness up into my consciousness. Thank you for that information, whatever that was for you. And then you can slowly start to come out of that practice, placing your hands on the ground, swiveling your feet around to one side, bringing the legs out in front of you, giving your knees a little bit of a bounce back and forth on the mat, giving your ankles and feet a little bit of a stretch out, a little shake back and forth. And then we are finished. That is our movement for the week. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next week.